Good evening. Hi, my name is Guy. Who is not a developer? Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, are you mainly WordPress developers? No. So, who is a developer? There's a little gap. You are mainly WordPress developers. I'm not going to be talking about development tonight. My talk is about an introduction to lead magnets, how to use your WordPress blog to grow your email list. How's the volume there, Dr. Kromov? So I run Wild Heart Media, which was founded in 2014 in Brighton. You can hear I'm not Swedish. Jag kommer från Sydafrika. I come from South Africa. And I live here in Stockholm with my wife. We're a content marketing agency, and we help businesses create the right content to grow their audience, their email list, and their customers. So that's what we do. How do we do this? And we do lots of research. The clients create their own content, and then we manage the rest, which is uploading to WordPress, search engine optimization, social media sharing, and email marketing. So we do quite a lot of stuff. Oh, and we expanded in 2015. That's my son. He's 8 weeks old. Han heter Cosmo. Han är väldigt duktig. Anyway, moving on. So I thought I'd just kind of introduce a little bit about WordPress and about some of the concepts I'm talking about. It started as an open source project in 2001. An open source blogging platform. Who would have known that it would be running 23% of the internet? Which is just incredible. And there are over 40,000 plugins. I know that Christian's going to be talking about developing your own plugin in his next talk. So many of them are free. So that's kind of part of the open source thing. Blogging. Who knew blogging would have taken off? Eh? They thought it was a fad, like the internet. So the fantastic thing about blogging is it allowed, anyone who's been in the internet industry for 20 years will know that the turning point in terms of user-generated content was blogging. All of a sudden, individuals had an opportunity to add their voice at almost the same volume as companies, and that was really a big deal. In terms of marketing, it changed the world of marketing forever. Social media has also had a really big impact in that as well. So the thing about blogging is you've got to keep doing it, otherwise no one's going to keep coming back to your blog. So it forces people to write regularly. It's got a little bit of very simple technology behind it, which is an XML document, or the developers will be, yes, XML, which is an RSS feed, which is a real simple text feed, which allows developers to grab feeds off websites and aggregate the data. So all of a sudden, you can share data. It's before social sharing, but you can share the content that people are blogging and pull them together in a really interesting way and curate that content. So that was a big deal. Am I shouting too much? Can everyone hear me? Yeah. Right, they're nodding at the back. So I'm definitely doing a good job on the volume. Cool. And why is blogging important from a search engine optimization point of view, from a business point of view, from a marketing point of view? Google loves fresh content. Google loves links even more. And what's significant about that is blogging makes use of categories. So if you organize your mind and your thinking, you begin to write on certain topics. And maybe you're writing about WordPress plugins. Maybe you're writing about post CSS. And most new traffic comes from search engines. So in order to grow your site and to continue to grow your business, if you run a digital business, then you need to play nicely with Google. And so here's a quick introduction of MailChimp. MailChimp is email marketing software. Now, the first presentation I did, I ran this by my mother. Not this presentation. This is some time ago. And my mother didn't know what email marketing was. So email marketing is a way of sending mass emails to people that feels personalized. So if you work in the industry, you just make these assumptions that everyone understands what you're talking about. And very few people understand what you're talking about. And it's dangerous to make the assumption that people understand what you're talking about. So MailChimp is a web app before they were called web apps back in 2001. Last year, they had 3.5 million new users. So they're growing quite nicely. That's a nice number. And they have a free account which has 2,000 subscribers a month and 12,000 emails. So if you're not doing email marketing or you have clients who have small email lists, this is a great place to start. The paid account includes marketing automation. And I'll come back to why marketing automation is important. But I need to explain what marketing automation is. I'll come back to that. So here's marketing automation software called Drip. And this is really new compared to 2001. We're looking at 2012. That's a useful bullet point, isn't it? Remember to talk about marketing automation. It says marketing automation software there. So marketing automation software allows you to create more complex interactions between people who engage with your email marketing and your website. So it's not just about people opening your blog posts or opening your emails. It's about the content they interact with, the content that they download, the pages that they visit, custom events that happen on your site using JavaScript. It's got to do with e-commerce transactions, the number of purchases people have made, how do you reward people who've spent a certain amount of money. All of this happens using software like Drip. GetDrip.com is their domain name, and it integrates with services like, let's see, what does it integrate with? Tons of services. My mind goes blank when I say it integrates with, so we have a WordPress integration for starters, seeing as this is a WordPress meetup. What's a lead magnet? So the title of my presentation is Lead Magnets. So it's a technique, it's a marketing technique. And basically what happened is that it's not so new, but the technology is new, and the marketing people like to give things a really cool name. So everyone gets really excited about this new thing. But basically it's giving away content in its most simplest form. But it's a way of incentivizing visitors to your website to subscribe to your blog. And what you need to do is give away high value content in exchange for a name and email address. So it's a non-financial transaction to start with. So, any questions on lead magnets? Good. Okay. So why email? So email, depending on which websites you go to, you can see that email is either 6, 10, 3 times more effective than social media when it comes to converting visitors into customers. So, of course, there are exceptions to this. There are exceptions to every example that I would give you. But the thing to note about email is it's not so sexy. It's got a bad reputation because we've all received email that we didn't ask for, and that leaves us with a bad feeling. And we're all hitting that spam button in Gmail going, I did not subscribe to that. I did not subscribe to that. So you have power to do a lot of damage with email marketing, but the engagement levels are like phenomenal. So it's really important. If you're interested in building a digital business, you absolutely have to use email marketing. I get people coming to me going, hey, I want to do some social media strategy. And I go, are you doing email marketing? They go, no, I want to do social media. They've heard about social media and it's cool. Everyone wants to do social media. But the stuff, we've got to start at the beginning. And the beginning is email marketing. So, and that's whether you run a personal blog and you want people reading your content and engaging with you. It's about community building. It's not necessarily all about trying to sell products. You don't necessarily have to have a product to sell people in order to be using email marketing. If you want to build any audience, I recommend blogging and email marketing working together really tightly. It's a great way to build loyalty. You can send people emails based on the emails that they've opened. You can see what content they're engaging with and send them more relevant content on that particular topic. So it's really good. And with email marketing comes this new fancy thing called marketing automation, which is all the rage, so they say. Who's heard of marketing automation in this room? Good, excellent, that's awesome. So I'm going to take you through a very quick 5 steps as to how you go about creating a great lead magnet. So the first step is to pick a topic, and we've written a blog post on our website which goes into each one of these 5 points in a lot more detail. So you need to think about who your audience is. If you've got a web design background, you might be using something like personas. If you're from an information architecture or UX background, you're thinking about user scenarios, you're thinking about personas, user journeys. These are all tools that we use to profile our customers to understand their behavior better. So think of something that you know the people will like, that you're writing about. That's your subject. Next, you need to sit down and write the blog post. So, and don't forget to add your SEO metadata to that, your images, your headings, your cross links, all of the best practices around creating good blog posts. One tip about creating a blog post: your headline is the most important part of the blog post, because if your headline is not interesting enough for people to read the next sentence, you're going to lose them. Stanislav was talking about this milliseconds. It was such a fast talk, I couldn't catch the milliseconds. But the point is about distraction, how people struggle to concentrate, how our focus and attention is divided between millions of little things, how we're multitasking with dozens of apps open. I know developers, they've got Spotify, they're listening to this, they've got 5 or 6 different apps open, they're having a chat, they're using Slack, they're using project management software. You're multitasking all the time. You're having about 5 conversations, and you're trying to work, and you're listening to Led Zeppelin. That's probably just me, but so there you go. That's just a tip on creating blog posts. Step 3: decide what to give away. So you've created a great piece of content. What is something that complements that content that is going to resonate with your audience? So there's quite a lot of thinking and planning that you have to do here about how to get these 2 pieces of content working well together. So again, you need to choose something that adds value to your blog post. Step 4: create the lead magnet. So you've decided what it is. Now you need to make it. Is it a video? Is it a PDF? Is it a checklist? Is it a template? There are dozens of different formats that you could deliver content in. What content does your audience really engage with? Do they have time to watch a 10-minute video? Maybe not. Maybe it's just a checklist. You've got to keep thinking about your users. Step 5, give it away. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. That is a Red Hot Chili Peppers song from the Anyone remember the Chili Peppers? Yes. Bra jobbat. Okay. Good. So, giving it away, and the internet is basically built on free technology. Apache, open source. Linux, open source. PHP, open source. MySQL, open source. Apple is built, the Apple operating system is built on Linux, so they made their money off free software. The world expects to be given something, and you've got to give before you receive. So that's the plan. So we use a plugin to simplify the part of the process, and it saves you loads of time. So one last tip: share it. So you created your great content, you've got your lead magnet there, you know it's red hot, you've got 5 people following you on Twitter. Put it out there. Put it out there on Facebook, LinkedIn. Again, choose a social media channel where your audience hangs out, and that's really important as well. So what's next? So if you go to our blog, I should really offer you a lead magnet, shouldn't I? I should. Okay, so what about your lead magnet? When you sign up to our blog, you're going to get a video tutorial showing you 2 different ways to add a lead magnet sign-up form to your blog. So we're looking at using Gravity Forms, which is a very popular form plugin, and we're also using a new plugin called Content Upgrades. Now, both of these are paid-for plugins. I don't work for them. I'm a paying customer. I always recommend to my clients, this software, so I get no kickbacks. Just so you know. And I reached out to Brian Castle, who runs Audience Ops, which is the company in the States that actually makes the Content Upgrade plugin. And they're going to give you 20% off if you buy their plugin, which is very nice of them, very generous. And that offer lasts until the end of January. So you've got about 2 weeks to make up your mind on that. Price-wise, I think it's $60 or something like that. It's not massively important. And if you want to know whether it's actually worth getting that, you can see me talk you through the whole process of adding the sign-up form into your WordPress blog. So that is me, Tuck. Tack för det. Inga frågor.
I have a question.
Yes.
So you said that email is the way to kind of get leads and stuff like that. But you also mentioned social media. That a lot of people want to use it.
Yeah.
So what kind of, in short words, social media strategy would you kind of advise on?
So to bounce it back at you, because that's the question nearly every client I get comes to me. What's my social media strategy? So my response to that is, what are your goals? What do you want to achieve? Social media and email marketing are tools that you use to meet business objectives. Okay, and I'm putting it in very sort of, I'm not using very kind of community language here. I'm using quite sort of business, but the same thing applies for community. So what's your goal? Do you have a goal? No? It's a great
Few
question.
companies do, I think.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, because then it makes them think about, okay, so what's more important to us? And then that starts a whole another conversation, you know. So, yeah, it's a good question.
I have a comment, not a question.
Oh?
About MailChimp.
MailChimp.
Yeah.
You've used MailChimp?
I use it, yes.
Cool.
And I used the free account for about 2 days or so. And it's so great that I decided I wanted to pay, because you cannot use that for free. And you get one feature that you cannot get if you have the free account.
Proceed.
It's a joy to be one of their customers, even if you don't pay. They are absolutely amazing to be in contact with. So MailChimp. If I want to work somewhere else, I would like to work there.
Yeah. And you know that they employ like over 100 people. They're in terms of like branding, Brandson. MailChimp as a brand, they've got the chimp.
Yeah.
Freddie von Chimpenheimer, they call him. That's actually his name. Freddie von Chimpenheimer. They sent me a hat, a handmade hat.
Yes.
So it's like, and the way that the support and the customer services team respond to free customers is phenomenal.
Yeah.
They've got a...
And Ben Chestnut, who founded, he writes interesting blog posts
Precis.
about different topics.
Yeah.
Very recommendable.
It's great for small businesses with email marketing. Obviously there are loads of paid accounts and you can scale up, and it's interesting that you converted so quickly to a paid account.
It's amazing.
So, cool.
And it works.
It works
Oh,
and you can use it.
Yeah.
That's great. Cool. Any other frågor? I'm switching. Tack. Nej? Tack så mycket.
Tack.